Thumbs up if you're ready. How you guys doing this morning? All right. Welcome, everybody. If we haven't met before, my name's Aaron Ludin. I own Space Coast and Orlando Real Producers, and we've been doing this thing in Orlando for over 8 years. We started, or I guess 7 years. We started in 2018. So we've done over 80 sessions, and a bunch of the agents here are like, when are you going to bring this thing to Space Coast? And we've been talking about it for a while, looking at different venues. So can we give a quick round of applause to Hotel Melby for hosting us here? If it goes well here, we'll be back. If it doesn't, we'll be somewhere else. But I appreciate everybody coming out today. We've got a few more of these that we're about to announce for the year. The dates, the tentative dates are going to pop up on the screen at some point, so definitely make sure you check it out. If we haven't met, though, like I said, I run Space Coast Real Producers. It's a magazine for the top 300 agents in Space Coast. Each and every year, we get national data. We rank the agents in 125 markets all across the U.S. So it came to Space Coast a little under 3 years ago. And we don't make the data, so don't be mad at us if we got your stuff wrong. We just report on it. But the reason that we started doing this was many years ago, we'd throw these private parties and people would be like, how do I get an invite to the party? Or why did I not get invited? Or why wasn't I on the list? And what would happen is we'd be like, okay, just sell more next year. It'll be fine. And that didn't really feel good. So what we decided to do was start putting the people in the top 300 or 500 on a stage to actually teach what they're doing without any ulterior motive. So can we give it up for the speakers today real quick, by the way? So the whole idea of this is to foster a greater sense of collaboration among the people on the top. Because in the end of the day, the people at the top, like the top 5% of agents in Brevard County, are probably selling 65% of the business. And so, like, who you work with matters and who you surround yourself with matters, but also how good your relationship is with the agent on the other side of the table, regardless of their brokerage side of town, business model, whatever, will likely dictate how many closings you end up having in the future. Does that make sense? If so, say, oh, yeah. And so that's the point of this. We have people that are really collaborative, that are willing to share from all different brokerage, willing to share to a room full of agents from their own market without worrying about competition. And that's kind of the point of why we're here today. But we have about 45 advertising partners that represent some of the best companies in the real estate world here locally. And if you meet somebody here that's part of Real Producers, by the way, if you snuck in here and you're not part of Real Producers and you don't sell real estate, you sell something to real estate, I'm going to give you time to sneak out later. I don't know. I'm not implying that I know you're here, but I'm gonna give you time to sneak out because you shouldn't be here. But with that said, if you meet anyone that doesn't sell real estate, like they're a lender, title, inspection, real estate photographer, stager, that means they're one of the best of the best. It means that they're referred by a top 5% agent, they're vetted, someone's vouched for them, and they've committed to supporting Real Producers on a multi-year deal. So what that means is they really want you guys to succeed. They want to have more of these events. They want to celebrate the top people in real estate. So could we just give it up for all the preferred partners of Real Producers? And maybe like 10 of them stepped up today to make today happen. I'm going to give them each just a minute. It is not long enough to tell you all about their company, but can everyone agree that if you learn something today, you'll like shout these people out, meet them after, post them on Facebook, something like that, follow them, take a meeting, whatever. Can y'all do that? Yes. All right, I'm going to just let them kick it off. Y'all, you have a minute each. Make sure you flick the mic to the left, and whoever wants to kick us off can. Raj, are you going to go? Or you want to go? Okay, Jennifer Klein, let's do this thing.
Is this thing on?
And y'all just make sure you talk way into it.
All right. My name is Jennifer Klein. I'm with the mortgage firm West Melbourne. I am a lender here. We have every single loan program available, from jumbo loans, DSCR loans, bank statement loans, all of that fabulous stuff. I am, and near and dear to my heart, are first-time home buyers. We are back in the age of the first-time home buyer. We have over 7 different down payment assistance programs. My pipeline right now is 50% homes being sold for under $350 using down payment assistance and getting seller concessions. If you are not tapping into this market, you're missing out. So reach out. I'll be happy to help you with any questions you have regarding these payments. And thank you for coming today.
My name is Ryan with Goosehead Insurance. We're an independent broker locally. We have over 50 insurance companies. Our process is pretty much tailored to the home buying process. Same day quotes, effective date changes. If you have a DTI issue, just let us know. We have options for pretty much every situation. If you haven't tried us out, give us a shot. We're happy to help.
All right.
I'm Ashley with Inspiring Home Staging and Design. We offer vacant and occupied staging in Brevard and Indian River counties. And I help with interior design services for your buyers. We offer vacation rental services and space planning, so on and so forth. So reach out.
One of those will work, right?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Roger Ramdahal, Senior Vice President with Fluent Mortgage, and we consider ourselves an out-of-the-box lender. We like out-of-the-box thinking, out-of-the-box loan products, and we are here to give you guys more tools to close those loans. So whether first-time home buyers, investors, whatever you're looking for, we've got products. We're here to help you to build, grow, and of course, be more successful, right? That's why we're in this room. So thank you guys for being here and giving us the opportunity to sponsor and be a part of this.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Colton Jones. I am the owner of Top Team Moving. We are your go-to movers here on the Space Coast, and we love working with realtors. I know that a lot of the best realtors that we've been able to work with, the way that they separate themselves is their process that they take their clients through, and that's super duper important. Moving is a big, stressful part in that process, usually coming towards the end. And we want to be the partner that comes in and eases that pain and makes it a simple process for you and your clients. We also love giving away free moving boxes. So your clients who are moving, they need boxes, contact me. We'll get them hooked up. Thank you.
Love it.
All right, let's see what we can do in a minute here. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Devin Moranti. I'm the owner of DBJ Home Inspections and JLX Environmental. We are a multi-inspection firm, so we have multiple inspectors. Our goal is to be your best partner, okay? Grew up playing team sports. You're only as good as your weakest link. I want to be a great partner for you guys. We have a fully staffed office, so you're not talking to somebody that's in an attic while you're trying to schedule your job. We have our inspectors that are on site doing the job. Post-inspection, we provide a third-party warranty for all of the customers. It's not an end-all, be-all, but it gives them a little bit of coverage to help them out, give them a little extra peace of mind. JLX Environmental is our dedicated mold division. We do mold remediation, mold testing, AC duct cleaning, sanitizing, odor removal, all of it. Okay, we're here to help you. Anything you need, call us. We cover from Palm Beach County all the way out to Orlando.
Just flick it to the right and they'll turn on. I got it wrong when I said left.
Come on, Aaron.
Other left.
Come on, Aaron. You're setting
There's
me
only
up for
two
failure
directions.
here. Plot twist. Good morning, everybody. My name is Danielle Sells, and I am with Landmark Title. We are brand new on the Space Coast, but that does not mean we are new. And what I mean by that is that I have personally worked in Brevard County real estate for close to 20 years, dating myself a little bit. And Landmark Title is actually Northeast Florida #1 market share title company since 2013. So we are well established, we are a well-oiled machine, and we are all about agent partnerships. So you name it, we do it. So pre-listing, complimentary prelim title searches, broker open support. We have a full legal team of attorneys, complimentary through your transaction. So looking forward to working with you guys as we break into here. And our office is in downtown Melbourne, and our grand opening is at the end of next month. So keep your eyes and ears open because it's going to be a huge event. And
Love it.
yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have food trucks and all kinds of stuff. So
Love it.
looking forward to seeing you guys. All right.
Let's give it up for
Bye.
Landmark Title.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Dave Dowell. I am the local owner of Nextdoor Photos. We are all things real estate media related. I love sharing the 3 things that people love most about Nextdoor Photos. Number 1 is value. Prices start at $160. That includes photos, a floor plan, a day to dusk twilight, and a listing website for marketing your listing. Number 2 is speed. Our operating procedure is to be available within a business day. So if somebody else flakes out on you, you have an emergency, somebody's like, hey, I want to get on the market tomorrow, we got you covered. We can be there. We deliver media day after that, which also means you can get eyes on a property, make sure it's ready, and we can be there in a day. You don't have to schedule a week in advance and the contractor's not done and you got to push it back. And then number 3 is impact. Every shoot that you do with Nextdoor Photos provides 4 hours of work at twice the livable wage for someone who's been rescued in human trafficking or grew up in a slum in Africa and takes them from lower class to middle class in their country, just like that. And so That's who we are. Number 4, if I have not given you an avocado tool yet, come get one from me.
All right.
It is life-changing.
Get your avocado from Next Door Photos. Dave's in the back if you want to visit him more. Let's keep it rolling.
Hello, I'm Mark with Double Scope Inspections. Those that know us know how we were founded. Double Scope has dual meaning. It was founded by my twin brother and I, and my cousin. And we show up with a minimum of 2 inspectors. For instance, we had an 11,000 square foot property yesterday, and we have an 11-unit apartment complex Thursday. So we have all hands on deck with those. So your time is money. We try to go in and out, get it all done, so you're not surprised. We do everything from septic, mold, water testing, 4-point, and everything else you can think of inspection-wise. So if you're looking for an inspection, Double Scope Inspections.
Good morning. My name is Monica, and this is Jessica. We're with Assured Partners Insurance Brokerage, and we are here to get you guys to the closing table without allowing insurance, because we know insurance has been quite fun these past few years, right? But we're here to make sure that you get to the closing table with all the resources that we have. I want to leave you guys with a quick nugget. One thing is I have Jessica, Becca, and Janelle, all locals to Melbourne. So if you haven't met them, they'll be throughout all the various events that Aaron is hosting. Insurance rates, auto rates are going down this year. So please, we have multiple options. We can help save you money. That's for you personally. So shop your auto insurance this year. And second off, home insurance is leveling out this year. More carriers are opening up, which means that closing should be a breeze. So let us know if we can help. Rates, we've actually seen dropping on home insurance as well. So contact us. We'll be in the back next to our partner, Danielle. We're going to raid her booth over there and come get information. We'd be happy to help and partner. Thank
Love
you.
it. Let's give it up for all the sponsors today. And an extra round of applause. We missed one. Oh, it's Chance. My bad, dude. Bring us home, bro. We got to give Chance a chance. Make sure you flick it to the right. There you go.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic. That was a hard one. How's it going, guys? Good morning. This is not my first masterclass. I sponsor a lot of the ones in Orlando, but I will say the panelists today, outstanding. We're in for an absolute show today. My name is Chance Kelly. I run Miracle Movers of Florida. We offer local and long-distance moving services from head to toe, packing, crating, moving pianos, whatever you got, we relocate it, from golf carts to automobiles. If you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to give me a call. We'll talk it out, get to know each other, and we'll make it work. Thank you guys so much.
Chance, where are you based?
Oh, Space Coast. I mean, I'm local. I'll go anywhere, but I'm based out of Cape Canaveral right now.
Love it. Let's give it up for all the sponsors. All right, and I want to give one more shout out. Fluent Mortgage sponsored the coffee and the snacks as well, or the breakfast pastry, so go give them a round of applause. They didn't have to step up extra, and they did. All right, all the sponsors, y'all can grab a seat. Appreciate all y'all. Let's bring it. You all ready to learn something? I think we should bring up these speakers in a second. Let's start with our first one. Zack Spurlock's a Brevard County native. He's raised on the Space Coast since he was 1. He's a third-generation realtor. That's pretty crazy. He's sold over $100 million. 23 years in real estate, $100 million in personal sales. Just over the last 3 years, by the way, the $100 million. He's at the Spurlock team on Carpenter Kessel at Compass, and he's on a team with his father, Neil, and Samantha Goldfarb. He's an outdoor enthusiast, loves fishing, surfing. Anyone see his awesome cover where he's like on a paddleboard? That thing is dope. Anyway, fun fact, he was featured on Shark Week and MTV's Ridiculousness for separate viral videos he posted. Let's give it up for Zack Spurlock. If you want to start on the left, man. But make sure you grab one of those microphones. That way you can talk a lot. All right. You had yours in a text, so I got to switch over. All right. Kayla Adamson is a top-producing real estate broker associate with 10 years of experience. She's nationally recognized speaker, the founder of the Stay Bossy movement, a coaching community empowering women in real estate to lead boldly and set strong boundaries. By the way, every single speaker ranked in the top 50 in Brevard County last year. Can we give it up for that? She's sold a ton, but also make sure you grab a copy of her new books. Was it Bossy Agent? Stay Bossy? Stay Bossy Agent. It's a 3-time bestseller, and it just came out like a week ago. So if you've never grabbed her book, jump on Amazon and grab Kayla Adamson's book. Let's give it up for her. All right. For some reason, these ones came in really small and sideways, so I'm going to try to read them. All right. Natalie Decker's a proud agent, 6 years in the business. Last year, she closed over $25 million. She's already closed $10 million this year and has $8 million currently under contract. She's grateful that 100% of her business comes from referrals, whether it's past clients or whether it's other Keller Williams agents across the country. So she's really big on building strong relationships and delivering an experience that people will remember and send her more referrals is basically what it says. Let's give it up for Natalie Decker. Eugene Crockett, the Rocket, used to be a Wall Street broker. He's been a real estate agent now for 8.5 years. He's been with EXP for 4 years, and he's a full-time Icon agent. He has 23 active listings. He sold over, in the month of April, by the way, he sold $4.3 million. Is that pretty awesome? So this isn't in his bio, but I know he sells like $25 million, give or take a few, every single year for the last, 3 or 4 years. Ranks in our top 25 agents out of 6,000 in the county. Let's give it up for Eugene Crockett, the Rocket. All right, Dillon, yours came in small and sideways too, so hopefully I can get this one right. Sorry, 1 second. It's really hard to read. All right. Dillon has a background in marketing from the University of Central Florida, began his real estate career nearly 7 years ago with Blue Marlin. He's still with Blue Marlin. He's focusing on market experience, contract knowledge, and the skills. Basically, he sold over $110 million in volume year to date. He ranks in the top 25 agents in the county, I think the last few years in a row. Let's give it up for Dillon Bout with Blue Marlin. All right. Here, you can take this one. I'll start with you, man, since you had to go last. Let's get started, and I want to hear from each of you just how you actually got into real estate in the first place. Like, what's the story that led to you jumping into real estate? And then, I'll ask you a twofer. How'd you get into real estate, and what does your business look like today? Are you a team? Are you not a team? How much are you selling? Like, how'd you get into it, and what's it look like today?
Yeah, so we're going to figure out the volume on this little by little as we go. So when I started real estate, I was finishing my bachelor's degree over at UCF, marketing major, finance minor. While I was there, I was interning. I was doing the 9 to 5, and I quickly found out that that was not for me. Nick Chambers was a good buddy growing up, went to Clear Lake Middle School with him and Coco. He started Blue Marlin with Chad Paulson, jumped in, said, hey man, how do I do this? Got licensed, jumped in, and that's kind of all she wrote. We're going on to 7 years with Blue Marlin. Already sold 15 mil this year, so we're pumping out in a difficult market. What does my business look like today? I am still a solo agent, but it is the first time that I have found an individual that has had the same passion as me in real estate. Nicole Ward's actually with us here today as well. She has become my mentee. I'm hoping she can be my little mini-me. So as of now, I am a solo agent. That is probably soon to change. So keep your eyes and ears open if you're interested.
Thank you for everybody being here today. Basically, I was a stockbroker for 19 years, a majority of it in New York. And then I was kind of going through the motions. So basically, I had nothing to lose. So somebody in the neighborhood had passed their real estate exam, and I decided what the heck. So even before I passed my test, I was already looking at what real estate company I was going to work with. And that's key. You got to visualize that you're going to accomplish something, and then you will. And I'm grateful because all these years, I just want to say this for a second. I feel that some of these agents in the last 10 years have had nothing but an up market. So they really don't know what an adversity is. As a stockbroker, I lived through multiple crashes. And so I think that's very important, and it's helped me kind of leapfrog. Even though I'm 8.5 years in as a realtor, I felt that I've been able to handle making good phone calls and bad phone calls. What my business looks like now is an individual agent. I will advise everybody in here, if you do not have a transaction coordinator, at least please get a transaction coordinator. My business has tripled since I've done that. The EXP model is to actually teach people. So I have about 10 people in my group, but I am an individual agent. So every sale that I've done has been on my own.
Hello. I got into real estate almost 6 years ago. I was into marketing part-time. I got a divorce and had to figure out a career to feed my 4 children. And so I was involved in Century Viera, football and cheer. My kids traveled, and so I got my license, which took me 3 times to pass, which I'm not ashamed of. Okay, good, thank you. So yeah, I am a single agent. I do have a TC. I have a part-time admin, and I'm looking for another full-time admin. I just started working with a showing agent, and eventually maybe I'll get a team. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I run my business kind of like Eugene, and I don't know. I think I'd probably do enough volume for a team, but the whole team thing is kind of scary.
All right.
Yeah. So I work with buyers and sellers. All my business is referrals from past clients, word of mouth. I do get a lot of KW referrals. I think 10% of my business, 20% of my business last year came from different KW agents around the county, or the world. I'm sorry. Actually, world. I had some move from out of the country. So yeah,
Love
my
it.
business is mostly word of mouth. So yeah, thank you.
Love it. Kayla. Sorry, we're missing one mic, but I figured 5 people was better than
We got
4,
it.
so.
Yeah, that's good. I started my real estate career in 2015. Prior to real estate, I was a deputy sheriff for the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, which I absolutely loved my career, and I'm extremely pro law enforcement. However, it is not lucrative. My husband was a firefighter, and we struggled financially, so I needed to find a different career, and that career was real estate. My main goal when I first started was to exceed my police officer pay, which I was able to do in my first year. I doubled my police officer pay, then I tripled it, and it just continued from there. What my real estate business looks like today is I'm also a solo agent. I'm a control freak, so I probably wouldn't be the best team leader for an actual real estate team. I thrive by my systems and really prioritize time freedom while maintaining my same production that I've always had. And yeah, that's my career today.
Love it.
That's good stuff. I went to UNF, graduated in 02, and I said when I was graduating, I wanted to do anything but work with my dad. I wanted to be my own man and do my own thing. And, you know, maybe like my last semester, I was one of those guys that just didn't know what he was going to do. And I started looking at what my dad did, and I'm like, man, that looks pretty cool. So he's back there in the blue. Say hi to Neil. So yeah, we started kind of the family team thing. Did our own brokerage, you know, went on our own. Some of you have been in here for a while, remember Real Estate Brevard. I quickly found out that running your own boutique brokerage is a lot, you know. And so, you know, we sort of found our way to now we're on the Carpenter Kessel team. So they handle all of the ins and outs. And then we're really a team within a team. So the team's myself, Samantha Goldfarb, and my dad. And yeah, it's been a great journey. You know, like Eugene said, the ups and downs, you know, we'll see what we're in for now, but we know like just sticking with it, like coming out on the backside is going to be amazing.
Love it. Let's stay with you, Zach. Let's talk about where most of your business comes from.
I would say sphere of influence has always been, you know, social media came easy to me. And, you know, if you're not doing social media or if it feels like a chore, then I'm sorry. But, you know, I like to follow the ones that are doing it way better than I am. So Shannon Gillette is one that if you can look up. And I went to a like thing kind of like this where she was talking up front. And she mentioned posting your vacations and doing all that stuff. I'm one that, you know, I'm always in the back of my mind when I'm going on vacation. I'm thinking about that house that hasn't sold for 4 months, and they follow me on social media, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want them to know I'm in Park City right now. But she said, you know what? Just send it. Like do it, because, you know, the amount of people that are going to engage with that post that's not another 3-2 tour is going to outweigh the possibility of something negative. So, you know, that's what I would say is like a good way to stay in touch with your people, your tribe.
Love it. Where does most of your business come from, Kayla?
All of my business comes from past clients, sphere of influence, and community building. I am very proud that I don't have to buy leads. Not that anything is wrong with that, but you can make or break your business by just loving on the people that already love you and showing up authentically online. I post every single time I'm going anywhere, and people are attracted to busy people. So it is a scarcity mindset to think that if you're busy and you're not doing a house tour or something specifically real estate related, that it could possibly unattract potential buyers and sellers. and that is far from the truth. I get most of my clients when I'm in another state speaking somewhere or in vacation in the Bahamas, and they don't care that I'm on a family trip. They don't care that I'm speaking at another event. They're like, hey, I know you're in the Bahamas, but I need to list my house next week. When can we chat? They are just so attracted to busy people. So show up authentically as you are and prioritize building a personal brand.
I'm the same way. Actually go on vacation, then your business will double. I do believe that is true. Every time I go on vacation, hey Natalie, I know you're away. My business is the same. I've never paid for leads. It's past clients coming back to. I helped them buy. Now they're moving. They're relocating. They're downsizing. Or clients that have referred me to their friends. I was involved, like I said, with my kids in the Vieira Century community. That's where a lot of my business comes from. Volunteering all those years. So yeah, I don't pay for leads either. Yeah, like Kayla said, there's nothing wrong with it, but I would have to grow. I think I would have to get a team if I did purchase leads. So far that's worked for me.
I feel it's changed over 8 years. It initially started off as just open houses, cold calling, door knocking. And this year, I would say what we're all saying right now, where we're at, is based upon the momentum of everything we've done to get to this point. So I would say it's very diverse. Probably around 40% is referral-based, repeat business. 25% of it is coming from referral things like Home Light, which is totally free, which they get paid at closing, as well as other realtors. And I kind of agree with Kayla. When you are, even if you're not helping a client at that moment, if you're doing something to better yourself, your family, educate yourself in real estate, then the phone calls keep on coming. But you have to meet this business halfway. And I would say for anybody new, all you need is a phone. When I started back in the late 90s, we really didn't even have cell phones. We were just dialing the phone. Nothing has changed today.
All right, so I might be the only one that when I go on vacations, nobody knows. Not a single person knows. Yes, your business does double or triple. I'm setting appointments for when I come back. So I come back from vacation and I'll have like 4 listing appointments the next day. It's not a good mantra to follow whatsoever. Yes, burnout is real. Where my business comes from currently, I probably have a good 4, 5, 6 pillars of business that are very, very consistent for me. More than anything, I'm a social media marketer. I do a lot of videography. I do a lot of boosted ads. I pull leads in. So they're not cold calling. It is warm leads. A lot of these people feel like they already know me. I'm a huge direct mail guy. And then, of course, sphere of influence, repeat customers. That is huge for me. I think if you crush it, have your client's interests in mind at all times through the process, you're going to get that business. You're going to get love from every single angle in this market. So social media, direct mail, and sphere of influence.
Let me stay with you, Dillon. What do you think's one thing that most agents either screw up, biggest misnomer, biggest mistake you see agents making, or the biggest lesson you learned that you were making and doing now? Doesn't have to be the biggest, a lesson, let's say.
I mean, you couldn't have given a harder question.
I could go to the other side if you want.
Oh, no, you're good. So in the very beginning, I think at least one of my biggest mistakes is you highly underestimate what you're capable of. I was in the beginning like, oh man, I have 3 deals running. I'm so busy. I would stop prospecting, which that is our business, is you are always prospecting 24/7. The minute you stop, your pipeline is going to, become dry. So I think in the very beginning, I would get busy and I would be like, holy crap, man, like what the hell do I do? How do I handle this? So I developed systems. So I think the biggest thing is what I learned, and from mentors like Chad and Nick, chew everything. You are eventually going to swallow it. So do not stop. You are not too busy. I do not have a TC. I did not have an assistant until, this year. You can handle it all. Once you get those systems, those processes in place, running 20 deals at a time is easy.
What are some of the systems? Like, give us an idea of what you mean for people that don't know.
So let's put it this way, and it's going to look different for every single one of you, but I came from bartending, serving tables, bartending, did that for 8 years, before college and, through college and even my first year of real estate. The first thing you do is you greet them at the table. You go and get their drinks, you take their order. You need to have that same process with your clients, whether that's buyers or sellers. What do you do first? You talk to them, you get them pre-approved, you're sending them. There's just a process that you send them down, and mine's not going to be the same as yours. Same with my listing videos. It's like listing appointments, scheduling photos on the spot. We already have everything locked in that I'm giving them a game plan. If you have a process for every single person, along the way, you can remember what stage you're at with them. So my process isn't going to be the same as anybody else's, but that is up to all of us to find out what works for you, what works for your clients, and how you communicate with them.
Love it. Love it. Eugene, mistakes, misnomers, lessons you learned?
I think the biggest mistake is people don't understand how much willpower you really have. So I think another mistake is, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that has this as a part-time job, but if you really want to be at the level we're at, this really has to become a full-time thing. Now, if you have a great job during the day, don't stop doing that if you're new. But in that little time you're allocated, that 3 or 4 hours, if you literally focus on working those 4 hours, you will still get more done than most people that have 24 hours in a day to do something. The second thing I think is very important is not enough education is going on. Last year, the big talk was, how am I going to get paid? How am I going to make commission? Wrong question. How am I going to do a good job for a person? And then the end result is you will make your money. That's the goal every day. Now, I grew up being somebody who was evicted a lot. And when I was at the end of being a stockbroker, I felt like I was a has-been. I felt like I've done this for 19 years, but I have nothing to show for it. I fell in love with real estate immediately, and I think the real thing is I am bringing stability. Whether somebody is wealthy or they could barely get into a house, I am helping to bring stability because I really didn't have that as a kid. So understand your why and focus on that. The money's going to come.
Love it. Natalie?
I feel that once you get under contract with your client, I feel the last couple of months, like the agent I'm working with is kind of got you under contract and the communication drops off. So I'm huge into communicating with the clients like weekly, daily. I don't know. I feel like it's not a job where you just get under contract and you have the inspection and then you're ghosted. So I kind of feel the last couple of months, I don't know if the market, I'm not slowing down, but some agents are slowing down, and I don't know. I'm big into communication. Like, I do crazy things and make like survival kits with the agents I work with. So at closing, like, yeah, I mean, the agent, they'll make it or break it with you. So like, I feel like, I don't know, that your competition is not the person next to you. So I feel like, they will make it or break it for you. So just keep in contact, and I always reward the agents when we close.
What do you wish more agents did on the other end of the transaction from a communication standpoint? Like, what specifically do they need to stop doing, or do they need to do better at?
Yeah, they need to do better. They need to do better and stay in contact. Like,
they just need to communicate, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm huge into communication. So, and I know so many agents say, they'll come into the office and tell the admin, like, I want to be like Natalie. And she's like, do you know what Natalie works? Do you know what Natalie does to get where she's gotten? No, it's not easy. This job is not easy. I don't know, the last couple of years, I don't think I've slept. I'll be honest with you, like, I live on Celsius and in the morning throughout the day, and I drink wine at night. So, I mean, I'm going to be real. It's Celsius and wine, and not the can, it's the powder Celsius. So yeah, that's it.
All right. In case you guys wanted to learn something today, Celsius and wine. And if you miss everything else, get the right drink. Kayla.
I'm a Celsius lover too, so there's a theme here with the top producers. But the biggest mistake that I personally believe that a lot of new agents do is they get their hands involved in too many things. They'll be doing cold calling, door knocking, open houses, social media, dabble with paying for this lead system, and then they get caught in putting 20% effort into 5 to 10 lead pillars. And I challenge you to put 100% effort into 2 to 3 main lead pillars, and it's going to change your business. And when you do this, also make sure you give your effort time to grow. Another one of the biggest mistakes that I see agents make is they will spend 2 months doing something. They don't see that return on their time invested. They'll pivot to another lead pillar. And this is not giving your effort time to build that momentum to go. Myself and a lot of the other agents up here, we live on sphere of influence and past clients because we gave that effort of loving on our people time to flourish. So 2 to 3 main lead pillars, and then give your effort time to grow. Don't pivot too fast if you don't notice something is working, because it takes time and consistency.
How long does it take?
I mean, I think you can build a solid business in 12 months, putting 100% effort into something. I was a top producer by the end of year 2, and now I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've held that status. So I think it's a repeatable system you can do year after year and continue to stay in the top 50.
Love it. I also believe, just coming from a direct mail perspective, if you're hitting somebody, whether it's your emails, whether it's text, whatever marketing you have, direct mail, flyers, postcards, you name it, it's probably going to, I mean, you may get business a few months or 6 months or 12 months in, but you're not even seeing anywhere near, like, you're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. It's like this giant glacier that's under the water, and what you can see is the tip of the iceberg standing out, which is like somebody called me from a postcard. Oh my God. But like, if you keep mailing to that community, or you keep hitting that database, or you keep hitting your sphere, and you do it for a year or 2 or 3, you'd be surprised there's a whole freaking glacier below there. And the real value is once you hit month 28, 29, 30, and you start getting a dozen calls, 200. You get what I'm saying? Like, you guys know what, you guys all experience this, right? Like, coming from a direct mail perspective, I can tell you, when we mail magazines, we spend a lot of money mailing them, and it takes 18, 28, 24 before we see direct response from it. But then it's like an avalanche. So don't give up on your stuff. I just had to throw that in there. Mistakes. What do you see people making mistakes?
I'm going to try something. Everybody who has either a part-time or a full-time assistant, raise your hand. All right. And keep them up. And then whoever uses a transaction coordinator, raise your hand. Okay. There's a lot. All right. So whoever doesn't have your hand, I'm going to kind of go out on a limb and say you might be a control freak. That's what I am.
Yes.
And so, until I joined Kirk and Dwayne and they looked at the list of tasks that I was doing, and I was selling about $14 million a year when I came and joined them. Since hiring a full-time assistant, it's doubled my business or more. And so what I realized is that I was controlling the fact that I was forgetting to order a survey, that I was not getting around to mailing out a just sold postcard. And the list is endless. So if you saw somebody next to you raise their hand, ask them, how much they're paying their transaction coordinator, what it's done for their life. And to me, that's the biggest mistake that took me about 15 to 18 years before I corrected.
Love it. So I must have asked that question back in a different way, because everyone gave me a different answer than what they wrote for me. So let me try to ask this question differently. It's totally my fault. Let's talk about just one strategy, tactic, tool that most people aren't doing that would make a big difference in their business.
I got to say it again?
I mean,
right, so raise your hand. No. Okay.
He's the only one that gave the same one, basically. No, do you have another one, though?
Come back to me.
All right, Dillon. Oh, I'll go. Kayla, go for it. Yeah, she's ready.
I got one. Oh. I got one. It just came to me. Okay. So I would say creating business hours. So we pride ourselves on working 24 hours a day, being always on call, and just being that, firefighter or police officer or whatever to fix the whatever it is. I got freedom from my real estate coach when she said her business hours are 8 to 8. And outside of that, I actually have an example on how I. So this is a text message that came in at 9 p.m. a day ago. Hey there, just checking in. Are we still thinking to lower the price? And I said, hey, I'm in the middle of bedtime routine with my daughter at the moment. Would it be okay if I got back to you first thing in the morning? They say, sure, sounds perfect. I'm on the road by 6:30, so anytime after that works. Sorry for the late text. I hit them back at 7:30 in the morning, and they apologized for the late call. And I always leave room that if it's an emergency, I'm calling you back at 10 o'clock, but I like to set that boundary. And my pastor, a lot of us go in to January 1 with like our list of to-dos and what we're going to accomplish. My pastor had kind of the opposite approach, and he encouraged us about taking a day of rest. There's a lot of things in the Bible that, aren't really relevant anymore, like about tattoos and just weird stuff. But a day of rest is something that is still relevant for today. And, he's like, Sunday is my busiest day of rest. But Friday is the day that I don't check emails. You can find me on a hammock. Like, I'm powering down. So that gave me freedom because I'm like, gosh, as a realtor, a lot of times the busiest day is Saturday and Sunday. He gave me the freedom to not say I've got to take every Sunday off. So I had some time, and I like really reflected on what day could I really not book out, and it became Sunday. And so I started that, first week of January, and it was insane. Somewhere between 8 and 10 million went under contract that week. And so it was this like confirmation for me that I was like, all right, let's send it. And my family appreciates it.
Love it. All right, Kayla, you still ready?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What's one strategy, tactic, or tool that most agents don't know about that makes a big difference in your business?
Okay, perfect. I'm not sure if all of you don't know about it, but this is one thing I do, and it's really practical, and it could be an action item for you to adopt today. But how I stay in touch with my past clients is a super simple Excel spreadsheet that they're all on alphabetically. And then once a quarter, I pick a group of the alphabets to call and actually talk to them. It's not a random weird pop by with like a chickpea around Easter on it or something of that nature. I literally call them, check on them, touch in about their life, talk about their kids, their animals. And it's a really authentic connection that doesn't cost you anything but time. Because let's be real, if you're in the middle gritty of building your career, you do not have the money to buy all these pop buys that are really popular in Facebook groups and social media right now. So really just your cell phone and calling them. And an easy way to track is an Excel spreadsheet so you don't have to invest in another system. Yeah, that's one takeaway.
Love it. Natalie?
I do a lot of pop buys with my past clients. I do. I usually visit my probably 4 to 6 times a year. Like this week for Mother's Day, I created a cute little label, and I'm not the one to deliver. I have someone delivering. My girls usually do, but I'm doing bottles of champagne for Mother's Day. So I have 50 that have gone out this week. I do not, and it's not always delivering something. It's just like Kayla said. I usually do it by zip code. With Keller Williams, we have a system called Command, and so you will hear from me throughout the year, even if I saw, they had a baby, their granddaughter had a baby or something, just to reach out and send them a card. I do love on my clients throughout the year, and like I said, go on vacation. I'm telling you, go on vacation is I do strongly believe that some agents think that the agent you're working with is your competition, like. I don't know, Zack and I always say we talk every couple of weeks in Mastermind and, and Eugene as well. Like, yeah, we'll bounce things off of each other.
All of you wrote something like that, by the way, just coincidentally.
Yeah, like this is not your competition. Like you might be, at the closing table with them. So
Let me ask you a question about your sphere marketing, because you're saying you do a lot of pop buys. So can you break down what you're actually organizing? Like how many people, who are the people? What do you bring in?
So it all depends. This year has been super busy. So I have not, Mother's Day is the first time I've delivered anything. So like for Christmas, I delivered 200 rolls of wrapping paper with tape.
Is this a farm community? Is this your
no,
past clients?
They're all my
is
past
this
clients.
A sphere? Okay.
Yeah, I don't farm. So I don't actually deliver. I have 20-year-old girls that need money, so they deliver. So Mother's Day was the first time I've actually delivered anything. And then for Father's Day, I usually do gift cards, like $5 from Beefs. And I'll try to, like the people I've delivered for Mother's Day, I'll try to not deliver them for Father's Day. So there's a little love. But yeah, it's like St. Patrick's Day last year, I did lotto cards. It's not a lot of money. It's just something that you're always thinking of them.
Do you have a number of touches you hit each year?
Yeah,
or
usually
about
4 to 6.
4 to 6 touches. Love it. Eugene, tell me about the one tactic or two that makes a
So
difference
this
for you.
is basically a twofold strategy I kind of came up with. For the longest time now, every morning, I read Florida Realtor News. And even though one of the insurance agents said insurance is coming down, if you've kept up with the Florida Realtor News every day, you would have known this stuff. So I believe it all boils down to work. So the acronym for work is within ourselves, results kick off. So here's what we should be doing. I noticed too many people making videos about what's going on with the housing market, what's going on with mortgage rates. It is very rare that anybody that's listening to that video is actually going to pick up the phone and call you. Why don't you take the information that you're making videos about and have a reason to pick up the phone and call your prospects and your clients and even people that you've done deals with 2 or 3 years ago? You're just starting a conversation, and then listen. That is being a New Yorker and being a talker. I still struggle with that. But I'm telling you, if there's any listing out there that's been on the market for 90 to 120 days and you communicate with the realtor, I hate to say it, but some of these listing agents are revealing their hand. And they're actually letting me know I should be coming in lower or letting me know the situation. So instead of making all these videos, which you should do, just repeat that and call people. Stop worrying about what to say and just do something and educate yourself. Because when you go on a listing appointment, if that person believes they know more than you, chances are you're not getting that listing. And you don't have to know more than them, but perception is reality. I want a raise of hands. How many people are spending 30 minutes a day educating themselves, not on comps, but actually on the real estate market? Great. Keep on doing that and then double down on it.
How long do you spend?
I spend 30 minutes to an hour, but I'm like, if anybody's ever seen the movie Short Circuit with Johnny Five, how he could just read, me reading 30 minutes of or an hour, I'm processing a lot more than most of you. And for new agents, if you're brand new, which I love, when you go on a listing appointment, nine out of 10 sellers are asking for a ridiculous price or a high price. Do not go in there telling them your price is wrong. When you leave, they're going to check out and see how many sales you have. And they're going to see you have no sales. So you have no ground to stand on. This is what you say to them. I believe comps are showing you're a little bit overpriced, but let's do this. I'm going to give you 3 weeks at your price. But in 3 weeks, we are coming down to a price that's more realistic. And then what happens is you may actually get your first listing. And that first listing can bring momentum for a second listing. Build some momentum. Even a good conversation today that you don't get anything out of it, that is building momentum if you feel you got something out of it, that you came prepared.
Love it. What data are you looking at, though? What are you actually analyzing, and what are you looking for?
I look at Florida Realtor News every morning, read that inside and out. CNBC, which is basically for the stock market, but you need to be paying attention to what's going on with the Federal Reserve. Like, everything is based upon mortgage rates, and mortgage rates have done nothing but stay at 7% for almost 3 years now. Just be aware, because once you start reading this stuff, sometimes you're going to be able to catch things before they happen. The reason why I think I do as well as I do, when I go into a neighborhood that already have 5 homes and I'm taking over a new listing, they couldn't get it sold with another realtor, and they want to go $5,000 lower. That's not what you do. You have to be 2 or 3 steps ahead. Go $15,000 lower, because the minute you hit send and it goes active, those other properties that have been in the market are going to come down to that same exact price. Now you're just a needle in the haystack. So always try to think 2 or 3 steps ahead and when you're trying to get the business.
Love it. Dillon, one strategy, tactic tool.
Strategy, tactic tool. I mean, we've said it about communicating with agents. I think it's communication. Of course, Spurlock said it best. You know, most times your best friend is going to be the buyer's agent on the other side. But I mean communication with your clients. I think it needs to be clear, concise, and many times fierce. There's going to be times that you can't just sugarcoat it and be a yes man, a yes woman, and nod your head with their sales price, what they think you should do. When you go into the doctor's office, you don't tell the doctor, like, yeah, put those pins in my leg here. You're here to steer the ship, and I think that's done through clear communication, by being transparent, by not sugarcoating anything through the process. I think I get a lot of repeat business because I'm honest. So I think everybody needs to change the way you ask questions, the way you construct your conversations, and I think it's going to do a world of difference in your business.
Give me an example. Client doesn't want to do something.
All right, cool. So let's say you're at a listing appointment and they kind of balk at the price you gave them. You focus on their goal. So the way to navigate that would be like, hey, if we could get you into the pool home by the end of June that your family knows and loves, would this price make sense? They're objects on the goal. They want to move into that pool home. So that's one basis of how you can use questions and communication to almost lead a client to your desired result. And at the same time, I'm not bullshitting them.
Love it. Let's talk about your daily schedule or daily habits.
So
definitely, what's a day-to-day or week-to-week routine
So definitely
look like?
a creature of habit. I believe in discipline. I think everybody on this panel wouldn't be here if they didn't have some form of discipline to what works for them. So for me, every day I wake up at 5 a.m., immediately make breakfast, drink my pre-workout, read 30 pages or so of a book while I'm waiting on that to kick in, straight to the gym. After the gym, it's straight to immediate little emails because by that time it's maybe 7 a.m. It's not super appropriate to call clients. By 9 a.m., I'm making calls, I'm prospecting, I am digging my heels into the business because every day we wake up broke, or we wake up unemployed is a better statement. We wake up unemployed every single day, so my job is to get an appointment. So by 9 a.m., I am locking appointments. I'm trying to go somewhere today, tomorrow. What day is it? Friday. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And I mean, of course, everything is so sporadic in this industry. The beginning of my day doesn't change. It's always the same wake-up routine. What does change is what happens throughout the day. The appointments, the appointment setting, the getting home at 9 p.m., those are really the only things that change.
Do you have an end-of-the-day routine? Do you have like a wind-down or a...
Yeah, so wind-down, usually, I was probably the worst at it in the beginning years where there were no boundaries whatsoever. You call me at 11 p.m., I am answering. Now, 8:30, you cannot really get a hold of me unless it is a fire. I am sitting down. I'm reading a book for 45 minutes is usually like my minimum. So yes, I do wind down my day. I read a book. I open my planner, and I write down my appointments for the next day. That includes my workout. When I eat, my day is time blocked, so I wake up with a plan.
What do you read?
Everything. I mean, this comes from real estate, Inman. More typically, it is, self-improvement books, fierce conversations, how to change conversations, motivational stuff.
Nice. Love it. Hey, no, that was golden. Eugene, what's your day-to-day look like? Daily habits, weekly habits, weekly routines?
I get up around 4:30 a.m. And basically get up at 4:30 and I will listen to Napoleon Hill in the morning. I feel like you look at all these people, Tony Robbins, and Napoleon Hill is like the godfather of it. And not to digress, but every morning when I take my daughter to school now, I put on some Napoleon Hill. And she's been really engaged with it.
Can I poll the room really quick? Quick show of hands. Raise your hand really high if you know who Napoleon Hill is. All right, for those of you that do not know who Napoleon Hill, I guess we got to tell this. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich. Raise your hand if you've heard of the book at least. Okay, still about the same number of people. The book, so many years ago, Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in the world. And this guy got sent an assignment to write an article about him, a journalist. And the guy went to visit Andrew Carnegie, and instead of writing this article or telling the story, this guy lectured him for 2 days straight, kept him in his guest room, and telling him all about the philosophy of success and how all successful people think differently and yada, yada, yada. And after 2 days of doing this, he said, okay, I have an offer to make, and you have 5 minutes to decide whether to accept it or reject it. It is a 20-year assignment, and I'm not going to pay you anything. And the guy looks at him like, this is the richest man in the world, so it's a little bit crazy to hear you're going to get a 20-year assignment. paid nothing. He said, what I am going to do is I want to introduce you to the most brilliant minds and most successful people on planet Earth. You'll go with my letter of recommendation. I need you to interview them about the philosophy of success and document it in a book, and it's going to be one of the best-selling books of all time. So it's in the top 20 books of all time. I think it gets beaten by like 3 versions of the Bible, something like that. But for those who don't know, you got to read Think and Grow Rich, check out Napoleon Hill. I just figured I'd tell that story because half the room didn't have their hands up. So
Well, I've read
start with Napoleon Hill.
I've read the book a couple of times, but I'm thankful for the book because it's opened up, expanded the library of Napoleon Hill. So that's enough talking about him. But no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
so I go to the gym every single day, almost 7 days a week. I come home and I take my younger daughter Selena to school. Excited to take her to school every single day. And even the days when she says, I don't want to go to school, I explain to her that some of these kids in this school, these are the only square meals they're going to get a day. So in the morning, I'm giving her perspective on life. Then I'm literally just getting ready. By 9 a.m., I'm calling people. I'm cold calling. I'm working the business. And that's just an all-day thing. At the end of the day, we have a schedule. I'm going to call this person at that time, or, you know, this person gets sick and they can't come to the showing. So that schedule is always getting moved around. But my thing is, I just want to work harder than everybody else. And I'm telling you right now, as hard as you think we work, one of you in here works harder than us. Just start believing in yourself.
Love it. What's your day look like, Natalie?
Okay, I do not get up at 4:30, nor do I work out 7 days a week. So I actually play tennis 2 mornings a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm in a tennis league. I have been for the last 7 years. I try to walk. I get up at like 7:30. If I play tennis, I get back and shower, and I take my daughter to Vera Middle School every day. So my first appointment is not till 10. So I drop her off at 9:30, and I either go to the office or I go to an appraisal and inspection. I had no boundaries, like Dillon said. Up until this year, I was working 7 days a week, way too much, and I was getting burnout. So I take every Sunday off. Saturdays, I try to take off, but like this Saturday, I started at 10 in Sebastian with 1 client, and then I went to Palm Bay for 5, and then I had 2 in Vera. So I did not, but I got 2 out of the 3 under contract. So I don't really want to work weekends, nor do I want to work evenings. I try to set 2 evenings for a week for appointments. Like obviously people work and they need you to come at 6 o'clock, but I'm trying to get in more of structured. And actually I started taking Sundays off because of Zack. So I did a closing with him a while ago and we were chatting and he's like, you got to take Sundays off. And so we do Sunday fun day at my house, and my kids are older and we cook out and barbecue and use a summer kitchen that I never used that I just finished. So
hopefully next month we'll have like a few hundred less Sunday appointments in this room. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's hard because
How do you manage it though? Like when someone wants to do the day that you don't want, what do you say to them?
Well, it depends. It depends.
I'm new at it, but last Sunday I had somebody in town from SpaceX. They were only here 2 days. So I showed them stuff after church, but for me, I used to make it a practice of every Saturday would be open house, every Sunday would be open house. So now I don't fill my schedule, and if I can avoid, but if I can't avoid it, I'm going to be there for my clients. And my family's just stoked that I'm there now 75% or, what might end up working to 95% of the Sundays. I'm not legalistic on my Sunday. I don't think that I can be yet.
That's
Do you want
the
to tell
same-
us?
The same thing with me. Like if I have somebody here for a couple days, then I will work all day Saturday and Sunday, and then I try to take Monday or Tuesday off, but that never happens.
I follow.
It's the truth.
Love it. All right. Did you want to go over your daily schedule since you're already talking? And we'll go back to either of you.
This is not a good one, guys. I wake up, like 15 minutes before I got to get my daughter up, and I eat a handful of chocolate chips, and then I go wake her up, and but what I wake up to is a text from my assistant, and it's itemizing everything I have for the day, and a lot of that got put into the calendar before I went to bed. And so those are the changes I've made just within the last year, because I used to just wake up, have the chocolate chips, and then feel like a truck hit me by my day, and I'm just like reacting and responding and all the things. So now at least before I go to bed, I know what my day is going to look like, and then I've got my assistant that's really keeping me accountable. And hey, you said we were going to get this quarterly mailer out. We're going to do this, and because otherwise I probably wouldn't get around to it.
How does your assistant know what you're supposed to be working on?
She's tied into my email and my calendar and all that kind of stuff.
And is she here or is she virtual?
Is Cynthia here? I don't know. She's probably working because she works more than I do.
Got it. She's here though. She's here, not here.
She's
but
a real
here.
person.
Yeah. She's local is what I was really trying to ask. Kayla, how about your schedule?
I also wake up really early. I'm a 5 a.m.er, and I typically just drink my coffee, respond to emails at 5 a.m., and then my 2 kiddos, they're 7 and 4, they wake up at 6. So I spend most of my mornings with them until I take them to school, and then my workday starts at about 9:30, which I absolutely love because I get a lot of time with them in the morning because my husband prefers to sleep in. Outside of that, I do a lot of social media engagement, and I time block that 3 times a day in the morning, afternoon, and evening because a lot of my business comes from social media. And then I take Saturdays and Sundays off. My work week stops Friday around 3 p.m. because my husband and I always have date night on Fridays. We're very lucky to have a sister-in-law that takes care of our kiddos for that. And then Saturdays and Sundays, I'm with them or I'm traveling. If I do have clients coming in from out of town, I will absolutely service them though, especially scheduling it in advance. And one of the things I've used to help communicate my schedule is I do listing appointments on Tuesdays or Thursdays. When's the next Tuesday that you have available? And it's very rare that I have a client that can't accommodate my schedule. And I know that sounds a little crazy as a realtor to say accommodate my schedule, but one of the things I teach my realtors is to build this business around their life, not their life around their business, because you will get lost in real estate and then you'll wake up and be like, why am I even doing in this anymore? Like, I'd rather be poor than not have a life. You know what I mean? So I like to have fun. I like to go on vacation. I like to spend time with my husband. So I really, really prioritize boundaries and time freedom.
Love it. How do you keep in touch with your past clients in Sphere? I'll ask you, Kayla. We'll jump around.
I do an Excel spreadsheet. I think sometimes having systems that are so busy that it takes 30 minutes to even get in them, remember the password, figure what tab to go to, it's not a good return on time invested. I'm an Excel spreadsheet girly all day. They're in alphabetical order. I go through it once a quarter, and I make old school phone calls to them. I'm a talker, clearly. So I love to get on the phone with them and just talk about their life and talk about my life. A lot of my past clients love my girls to the point where they're sending them birthday presents when it's their birthday each year in the mail. I get all their Christmas cards with their kids. It really becomes a genuine relationship versus I'm your realtor, you're my client. It's like, hey, bestie.
Love it. And who's in the spreadsheet? Is it just everyone you sold to?
All my past clients.
Is there anything you're doing with your Sphere that's not bought from you yet?
My sphere of influence just gets invited to all my community events that I do. I do a lot of community events. They're not on the Excel spreadsheet. I don't call my sphere my clients until they actually become my client. One of the things you guys will learn too is you have to have thick skin. Everyone knows 5 to 10 realtors. And the people that you think will use you will be the first person to use someone else. So I don't call anybody a client until it's signed, sealed, delivered, and the cash is in my pocket.
Love it. But what kind of community events are you doing? Tell us a little bit about them.
Anything that you can think of. I do Ladies' Night, Galentine's Day. A lot of it is women-driven. I have not tapped into co-ed events yet. That might be something I do in the future. But my husband is an introvert, and he's like, no, girl, I'm not doing anything with you. He'll be there for cleanup and pickup, and that's it. A huge spring fest every single year, egg hunt.
Are you sponsoring them? Are you hosting them?
I host them.
Got it.
I'm very lucky to have a lot of sponsors that help with my events, like Jennifer Klein with the mortgage firm that's here, and Jordan, her husband, was here with Goosehead Insurance, and they're in the community events with me. We do monthly content days for female entrepreneurs in Brevard County. It's a great way to just create organic connections with other business owners in the area.
Love it. Zach, we'll go to you. How do you keep in touch with your Sphere or past clients?
Back to the social media. That's the most easy way that I do. But
are you adding everyone you meet? Are you adding everyone you want to do business? How does it actually work?
Come back to me on that one.
All right. But you're just keeping in touch with people and showing your life off and building relationships.
I'm on the phone a lot. And I mean, my family will attest to that, way too much. And so I don't know. I enjoy talking to people, and so yeah, I'm not very good though at the whole like 1 year house anniversary and all those kind of things, which we're working on that.
Got it.
But
So there's not a system to how and when they hear from you. They just hear from you.
No, and that's kind of back to that daily routine part that I'm struggling with. But yeah, I'm just like way more organic with it, and for me it feels just less salesy and all that kind of stuff.
I got a suggestion for you. It's Database Sundays.
Yeah.
You got. I'm just kidding.
It's a day off. I'm going fishing.
I'm messing with you. All right. So, but you're keeping in touch with people. There's not a rhyme or reason. It's just like you're doing it all and you're building good relationships.
I'll tell you something that I feel like this is a little nugget as far as when you're planning those vacations. Like, who do you have in your sphere that's your people that you look up to, or your people that like really pour into your business? Like, those are the people that you should be vacationing with. And some of my best clients are the ones that I'm going on vacation with. So I'm on vacation, but I'm with somebody who has, maybe done $10 million in business with me in the last 3 years or something like that. So, and then it just leads, and it all grows.
And I'm not an accountant, but that's probably has some tax benefits to it as well. Just throwing that out there. Let's hear about you, Natalie. You've talked a bit about it already, but tell me a little bit more about how you keep in touch with your sphere and past clients. Maybe events, because we talked about pop buys. Let's talk about what types of events you do. Flick it to the right. It should work.
Okay. I just started doing, I've had 2 client events at Tuscany Grill. So I've invited like my top 100, I think I had 100 people at the last one. And I had an open bar and dinner. And then I did an ice cream social. I live in Vera. I've done a couple of those. And like I do the 1 year anniversary candles. I hand deliver those. So like yesterday I looked last year, all of my closings for the month of May. So I know who's coming up for a year. And then I will pop by and deliver a little candle, and people love it. I do, like I said, the Mother's Day, just depending on how it really depends on how busy I am for the month. But I always remember the 1 year anniversary because people love that you remember that, they close.
Do you have a reminder system or something? And if so, what do you do?
At Keller Williams, we have a system called Command, and it tells me whose birthday. Like I have all the birthday cards written out for the month of May, so I know when to pop them in the mail. I do like a little lotto card.
Love it. So it's simple,
So it's
but
just
you're
loving
consistent.
on my clients, right? Because really, clients, they become family. So
Yeah, another thing is just to actually check Facebook, like check the birthdays, like ideally once a week, like when you sit down for the week or when you sit down to start, check everyone that has a birthday that week and just see if there's anyone on that list that even maybe isn't on your spreadsheet, but you're like, oh shoot, so-and-so's not on my spreadsheet or not in my database or not in my command, but I should probably call so-and-so.
Right.
And just make a little note of it and then do something other than just hit the button that Facebook automatically suggests, because then you're one of like 700 people that wrote the
Right.
exact same message. Like, the only person that sees all of them is me, because I try to make you guys donate to charity. But I respond to like 400 messages. But we know that like Facebook just had you hit a button on like 8 people. But if you were to take that phone and you knew already that Dillon's on Thursday and you had your reminder, that you might not miss people. It's just a little tidbit.
I'm not friends with a lot of
Not
my
you, but-
clients on social media, but I did start doing last year once we started getting the buyer broker agreement, in place. I started sending a client detail form. And one of the questions was their date of birth, so we can get them insurance quotes. And then that way I put their date of birth in the system, even buyers and sellers, and like what their favorite coffee is. Like coffee day, I sent like 250 clients $6 Starbucks gift cards or something. So you can gather that information to have their date of birth, and that was helpful.
If you're doing it anyway, I recommend you get sports teams and anniversaries too. That may come in handy one day. Just throwing that out there. Eugene, how do you keep in touch with your sphere?
Basically, every night or once a week, I'll look through my list of clients that I've closed over the last 7 or 8 years, and I pick out about 5 names. It may be somebody that I closed 3 weeks ago. Hey, how is your move going? It may be somebody that, they better remind them that the homestead, you want to get homesteaded so you get that homestead exemption. So that's basically it. I like to work when I think other people aren't working. So if I'm in my car, I'm either speaking about a deal or I'm speaking to somebody who I'm trying to follow up with. And also giving back to the community. About 4 years ago, I met a client who became a good friend of mine, and he said, why don't you give back to some of these local charities? So for about a couple of years, I was doing a $1,000 grant every quarter. And then if I have clients that I've closed, a way to keep in contact with them is send them out a newsletter to the community. The neighborhood that you live in, you should be sending a newsletter to everybody in that community, letting them know that you're a neighbor, you're a realtor. So it just goes on. There's no set thing, but I definitely try to call at least 5 people a day. And then on top of that, I have partnered up with an organization by the name of Battle Bros. They are the ones that do the food events at Wickham Park, and I have now become the title sponsor. And not everything turns to dollars and cents. I believe in top of mind, right? While everybody was doing reels and everybody's still doing reels, it's like nobody thought of putting billboards up. And so now I like knowing that 20% of our clients that are going to bring in more business can now brag when their friends come in from out of town. That's my realtor. And he's actually a pretty good guy. He's not stuck up. He's cool, you know, and things like that. So just do the work. It's as simple as dialing the phone. I wish I had a magic solution to tell you. But the one big thing I will say is have more conversations with everybody, realtors, clients, because from those conversations, you're going to learn 2025 issues, not 2022 issues. And then you can have a conversation that you could start with your clients. Just figure out something to start a conversation with and then be quiet and let them do most of the talking.
Love it. Dillon, how do you keep in touch with your past clients or sphere?
Yeah, so again, big social media guy. So a lot of times, you know, my clients follow me on Facebook. They're on my friends list. They're following my business page. So many times I'm getting texts from them like, bro, you're still crushing it. And, you know, they see me because I'm socially active. The next thing is you need a CRM. It doesn't matter if it is a Excel sheet or whatever that is. You can get their birth dates from your insurance broker, from your lender. Put it in your Excel sheet. Give your Google Calendar, you know, updates. Send them a $25 gift card in the mail. Hey, happy frickin' birthday. The biggest thing I think is I take a lot of pride in giving people service after the sale. I tell them at the closing table, like, you have me for life. Whether it's a roofer, a plumber, a handyman, whatever that might look like, call me. If your insurance all of a sudden gets tripled, call me because we're going to go reshop that out again. So I think by having a servant mentality, these people don't feel afraid to reach out to you if they need anything. What's the best grocery store? What's the best restaurant? Where can I put my boat in? Kelly Park, right around the corner. So really, I think service after the sale, you need a CRM so you can keep track of them. And more than anything, talk. Everybody here has talked about talking to them and being vocal, whether that's social media or direct. You need to be front and center all the time.
Love it. How many of you guys have learned something so far? Make some noise. I got one question, maybe 2 more questions if we have time for it, to ask the guy. But really quick, I want to get a couple takeaways from the room. And I got some free stuff for people that are willing to answer the question. How many of you guys got something from today and want to share what it was? Yep, over here. What'd you get at today? Oh, man, she already got it. So I think the question is, which page are you posting this stuff from? Is that where we're going?
Yeah, so it is a combination of both. I think your business page is what looks really professional. The suit and tie is on. Your personal page is the page where you can be like, I had an absolute blast, had 17 margaritas in Cabo. Like, I think it can be a blend of both. Your personal page is where you show your personality and who you are as a person. Your business page, when you're boosting ads, the point of your business page is to reach people that do not know you. So that needs to be more suit and tie. That needs to be more formal. Your personal page are the people that know you. you're not marketing to them, you're sharing with them, you're marketing on your business page.
Love it. I'd ask all of you, but I think you gave a great answer. We got to keep going. Who wants to share a takeaway from what you got? Yep. Love it. So the reassurance of taking Sunday off was a big takeaway. Who else has one? Yep, right here.
Make systems and be consistent. If you're going to be half-assing it, you're never going to get anywhere. If you continue to make those systems and do that consistently every day, it's going to really pay off.
Love it. Systems every day. Who else has one? Yep, right here.
Mine is a question, if you don't mind. I was wondering, how consistent are you guys being in social media? How much time are you guys pouring into that? And what are you guys seeing out of it?
All right, I'm going to let one of you answer it, whoever wants to answer it most. Do you want, Kayla?
I'm daily consistent. I post almost every single day, and I'm in my stories at least 5 to 10 times a day. So with that, I think daily for consistency. I do want to say, though, like, you are your secret sauce, and you have to lean into your superpowers. So if you despise social media, I wouldn't make it part of your business plan. There's more than one way to win. Just like I don't prefer pop buys, she's thriving in pop buys. We're both top producers. Like, you can make your business work with how your personality is. I chose events as a big lead pillar because I love to go to events and talk to people. So daily consistency, if it's your thing. If it's not your thing, pick something that you're already attracted to and really, really dive deep into that.
Love it. Great answer. Who's got one from somewhere in this half of the room? Wow, this is the best giveaway. Tam, you got it. Love it. So she said the details on the clients keeping their pet names, their favorite pastimes,
I
stuff
can
like
share
that.
it with you if you want. It's in Canva.
Also, those of you that call out of a database, you want to make sure you put all that in the database. I know it sounds silly, but some people don't do that, and they're missing. You got the best gift. So you're buying lunch for everybody. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else want to share one more? I don't have anything for you, but hopefully you'll still share. Look at the hands go down. All right. Yep. Right.
Celsius and wine.
Right here. Go for it.
I'm real.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. You got one? All right. Let me ask you guys the last question. First of all, let's give a giant round of applause to the panelists and all the sponsors. All right. Here's my last question. If I dropped you off in a brand new city with, like, I don't know, a backpack, a phone, and a laptop, and you had to start this thing from scratch and rebuild a business, where would you start first? What would you do? Who wants to? Any of you can start with it. Whoever's ready.
I would find the top producer in the community that had their face and name everywhere, and I would ask to shadow them for 6 to 12 months. I would not even research the brokerage or the broker because your broker's not going to teach you everything you need to know. I would find the top producer, beg them to let me into their world, follow them around for a year, and then build my own personal brand after that.
Love it. Who else wants to answer that one?
I would immediately get 50 open house signs, put my information on it, and start attacking open houses probably 7 days a week. That's free advertising. People are going to see your name every day. They're going to start to think you've been there for a while. Now you have to back that up, and on your downtime, start to drive around these different neighborhoods, specifically the ones that have sales. Go to open houses. Start educating yourself about all the different things, the HOA rules, the regs, all these little things you need to know so you're not going to seem like you're a rookie. And I would still, regardless of where you put me, you need to be aware of what's going on in the country. You need to know what's going on with home prices, interest rates, and start dialing the phone.
Love it. Natalie?
Yeah, I probably would do the same thing. Open houses. I started doing open houses. When I first started, I was doing open houses sometimes twice a day at one house. One house Saturday, and I'd pick up my signs and I'd put them back out.
Love it.
Yeah.
So open house?
Open houses, yeah.
Dillon or Zack, either of you?
All right, another thing that I've just kind of started in the last year is, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm doing 1 hour open houses. And the premise behind the 1 hour open house is, why are we doing an open house? Well, a lot of times we want to create urgency, right? And if you're there for 3 or 4 hours, you might only get 2 or 3 people through that, and they don't have a chance to bump shoulders. So when I'm doing a 1-hour open house, I might have 8 or 10 people, groups come through, especially if it's a new good listing, and it just creates that buzz. And then it does free me up to go do another one somewhere else if I want to. So I love that, and I had researched it. It wasn't just my idea. So I like that. If I was going to copy somebody, I would copy Colton with Top Team Hauling in the back. He and I sat down at breakfast maybe, 3 or 4 years ago, and he's like, I want to start this moving company. I said, you're crazy. And, I think he's one of the top movers in the whole county, and he did so a lot by getting on social media, showing what he's doing, but interviewing the important people in the community and getting them to buy in. So if I was going to start in a new community, I'd find all of the important people and get them on my little thing, because then they're sharing it to their social media, and he's done a phenomenal job at growing a business.
That's kind of what we did to fill this room today. Would y'all agree? To some extent. So, Dillon.
Yeah, so I think everybody here is pretty much on the same page I would be on. I would be researching the top brokerage, the top agent. I want to find a place to hang my hat that resonates with my values, what I believe in. On top of that, I think I would literally transplant what I do now over to there. It'd be high videography, a lot of boosted ads to become that locally famous guy. Yeah, it's hard to find your place in the market. But if anybody hasn't guessed by now, your biggest thing you need to be doing 24/7 is talking to people. 24/7. The more people you talk to, the better off you're going to be. So it would be open houses. It would be going to events, doing my own events, videography, and boosting that to become that locally famous person that I'd want to be. And pretty much everything else that they said.
Love it. So we're at time, but how many of y'all want me to do one last question? How many of y'all want me to break? Y'all want one more question? Rapid fire. Make sure you post hashtag Masterclass321 or give away a bunch of stuff later. Here's my rapid fire question, or just the fastest y'all can give me an answer would be great. I'll go down this line. I want to hear what you're doing differently in today's market that's different from the previous few years. What are you doing right now that's different from the past, or what are you doing to adjust to a more challenging market?
Doubling down on everything. I think everybody right now is like, holy crap, my business is floundering. I'm making less money. I'm having fewer transactions. It's rough. Stop making excuses. Double down. This is when you double down in the market.
Love it. Eugene?
I'm taking a step back as far as just observing all the noise out there. So just so you can understand, I was a stockbroker for many years. 5 months ago, nobody was complaining about how bad the stock market was doing. Everybody was the genius in the world. Even though we're doing well, it's been a tough real estate market for 2 years now. So what does that tell you? Maybe 5 months from now, we're flying. So who cares what's happening today? You cannot control that. But it's like everybody else is freaking out. I'm actually thinking if there's a 9-inning ball game of a downturn in the housing cycle, we're probably in the 8th inning. Game's almost over. The new game is going to start. And so it's up to you to be proactive, not reactive.
Love it. Love it. Natalie?
Grit, grind. But
Grind,
yeah, I mean,
grit,
I don't
grind.
stop. I mean, I run my business where I'm already looking like what I'm doing now for the month of May. Like I may not close until July, but just grind, grit. Just keep on going. Don't stop.
Love it. Kayla?
What I've noticed, and this might be a little bit different, but a lot of people in the community are really, really lost right now because there's so much going on in the world. And several years ago, I posted a ton about real estate and real estate advice. But lately, I've been posting a lot of just general advice about marriage and motherhood and just being a good person and just regular general advice. And I've gotten insane engagement, direct messages about it, and people are really, really enjoying it. I think we might be in a season where some people are kind of sick of hearing about real estate. They don't want another market update, and posting more generalized advice that's just motivational and helps their mental health and their mindset has worked really well for me lately.
This is going to sound pretty basic, but seller updates. I never had to do them in the past, and now you might have that listing for 3 or 4 months or maybe even longer. And if you're not talking to them every week to 10 days, they're going to wonder what's going on, and you're going to be old news soon as that thing needs to be relisted.
Love it. Anything else? Anything else anyone wants to add?
I just wanted to say thank you. I've actually learned something from each of you. I mean, I've known Natalie pretty well, but wow, I've learned a lot of nuggets. If you guys didn't get nuggets today, I have some sellers calling me every single day, like literally every single day, which means I need to be calling them every single day, not
Love
the
it.
other way around.
If you learned something today, give a giant round of applause to each of these panelists. Two quick notes. Make sure you post about it. Stick around. Nobody bought the lunch, but if everybody wants to hang out, a bunch of us are going to be here hanging and grabbing lunch at the landing. We will have another session. You will get info about it. It will probably be August, whatever the first Wednesday in August is. I think that's August 5th. And make sure you grab some coffee and pastries because we paid for all of them anyway. Thank the sponsors. And thank you, guys. Appreciate everybody. See y'all next month. Hey, Jason.